Jackals TV has returned to YouTube, and today we'll be checking out a game between the Jackals and the Fraser River Motorboaters. This game was on July 24th, part of the ASHL 2025 summer season in the 19-plus D2 division. Here you see the Jackals lineup on the screen. They're down 3 players, Aaron, Chris Stuhar, and Gary Mizuno. McKenna Cameron coming up to spare today to fill out the roster, and Trevor getting the start in net. Jackals are currently on a 6-game losing streak. One of those losses was against this team they are facing here today, the Fraser River Motorboaters. That game, the Jackals had a 4-2 lead with just a couple minutes left in that game and ended up losing it 5-4 in overtime. So the Jackals will be wary to put in a full 60-minute effort here today. So let's jump into it and see how it goes. And the Jackals are going to look to take advantage of minute 1 of this game as we see the opening faceoff of the game. Puck gets put up the wall. John turns it over and he's going to throw it to the middle of the net where Rob's all alone. He directs it on net. But the goalie swallows it up and there's no rebound. Here's the Motorboaters coming back the other way up the right side of the rink. This player is going to bobble it, but that other player on the other side is going to pick it up and walk in, direct it on that big save, and then a rebound and another save by Trevor. This game remains scoreless. Gary tries to poke that puck in the neutral zone, but he puts it on that player's stick who has speed, and he comes in around Gary, goes to the backhand, and a nice blocker save from Trevor. And the typical Jackals first period continues, under attack a bit, the puck gets directed on net, and then backhanded towards the net, and Trevor can't quite handle it, and it falls down in the crease, but that Motorboaters player directs it wide into the corner. Motorboaters still coming, then they make a move at the blue line on Gary, and come down the middle, try to put it off to the glove side, but well wide of the net. Jackals remain under siege. Here's a defensive zone face-off, shot from the point that Trevor directs over the net. This puck's going to end up behind the net on David's stick, and he's going to wrap it around the wall to Lloyd, who does well to just get control of it, chip it off the wall, and Jared's going to come flying up the middle of the ice, pick it up, open mohawk to the middle, throw it towards the net, and it squeaks by the goalie's glove. And the Jackals, against their run of the play, have opened up a 1-0 lead. And you see here, just as the shot gets taken, it looks like it tips off the defender's stick and goes up over the goaltender's glove. And that's a fortunate turn of events to give the Jackals an early lead. A little bit later, this puck, as it gets directed towards Trevor, he flips his stick over and pushes it over to Daryl, who does a give and go with Troy at his own blue line. Then he comes in and he uses that defender as a screen and puts it past the blocker on the goalie. And that's 2 goals in a row where the Motorboaters defenders are not helping the goaltender out. Perfect screen here, and Daryl fools him and puts it just inside the post to give them a 2-0 lead. Now here comes Gary Pablo on a rush, looking to make it 3-0, and he's going to use the same technique that Daryl used. Use that defender as a screen, but he goes to the glove side instead of the blocker, and the goalie makes a glove save and gets the whistle. Motorboaters coming the other way. There's a save up high, and then the player off to the side had a rebound. He put it through the crease, out the other side as time expires in the period. So we go to the second, 2-0 for the Jackals. And here they are off an offensive zone faceoff. Pablo gets it at the point for the point shot. Nice shot that the goalie directs to the corner. Puck gets thrown behind the net, and here comes Jared at the side of the net trying to get it out front, then tries to jam at it. And watch him push the goalie away. Goalie must have been on top of his stick, and that's going to incite a response from the Motorboaters, as you would expect when you give the goaltender a shove. 3 Motorboaters players come in there and engage with Jer, and it continues on for a little bit longer. Out of all of that, Jer ends up with 4 minutes. The Motorboaters end up with a 2-minute penalty, so the Motorboaters are now on the power play, working the puck around over on the right side, and they're going to put it back out to the point. And the point shot gets through clean, and the rebound goes right onto the tape of the player on the left flank, who easily deposits that into the empty net. So a fortunate bounce on the power play for the Motorboaters. And so the Jackals looking for one of their own. There's a point shot by Bob, and Rob's cruising through the crease. He tips it, but it goes off the goaltender's arm and up over the net. Play continues. Motorboaters have it along the wall, put it up to the left side, and this player is going to try and pull the puck through Bob. Bob tries to play the puck, gets his stick into the player's feet, trips him up, and so Bob's off to the penalty box. Another power play here for the Motorboaters, looking to tie with a second consecutive power play goal. This puck's going to rattle around loose in the crease. Bodies are flying everywhere. Gary's battling hard for it. It ends up staying out of the net, and they do kill that penalty off. There's Bob retrieving a puck deep in his own zone. He's going to push that up ice to Daryl. He's going to go down the left side, cut to the middle, take a shot back against the grain, but the goalie gets his leg down and makes a save. Second period is now winding down. Bob intercepts that puck in the neutral zone, pushes it up for Daryl, comes down the right side. He's going to try to push that across to Jay Davis, who just came off the bench, tries to backhand it towards the net, and then McKenna's banging away as the puck is laying there in the crease, but she can't get it to go through the goalie. So it's still 2-1 as we head to the third. There's the Motorboaters goalie. He's going to wrap that around the wall. Bob's going to block it, play it enough that Jair's going to sweep it on net, and then Lloyd has a golden opportunity, but he's robbed. But then Jair comes in and collects that rebound, and after a number of excellent chances there, it's in the net, and the Jackals are back up by 2. It's a 3-1 game. Jackals looking to further stretch the lead. You see David with the puck on the far side. He's going to juke around that player, give it over to Bob, who's going to go straight up the ice to Jair on the backhand. He's going to cut to the middle and where he scored from before. This time he's going to pass it over to Darshan, who tries to go across ice to his forehand, but looks like he gets poke-checked off the puck there by the goaltender. A nice play. Here's a draw in the neutral zone that goes over to Gary Pablo, who bounces it up ice to Daryl, who walks in, dishes nicely off to Troy. Rebound comes out. One save by the goaltender there, but Daryl gets a second crack at the rebound and puts it up over his leg. And the Jackals have a nice 4-1 lead here in the third period. But of course, we mentioned it earlier, they were up 4-2 in the third to this very same team and end up losing that game in overtime. So they'll have to stay vigilant here as the game winds on. And here's one good chance. Number 4, Beaver tailing for the puck, all alone in front. He gets it, he scoops it on net. But Trevor's there to make the save. Motorboaters keep coming though. This player, good shot there, and that looks like that's off of the thumb of the catcher's mitt there from Trevor. Puck stays in, and this motorboat player gets all the way to the middle, slides it back across the grain, and Trevor gets the toe out to make yet another save. So now there's about 7 minutes left in the third here. Can't get that puck out. It gets blocked, and then that player turns around and swings at it, and then there's also another crack at it as it bounces off the glass and back out front again, but again it stays out, still 4-1. Nice pass, up ice. Troy gets it. He's going to find Daryl coming in late, looking for the hat trick, and McKenna gets the rebound there and sweeps it on net, but somehow the goalie gets the leg across. So a couple more excellent chances for the Jackals to stretch the lead, but another good save there from the Motorboaters goalie. Here they come again, retrieving that rebound from the corner, then throwing that towards the net, and that gets bumped off to the guy on the side who tries to go on the short side, but Trevor holds tight onto the post and keeps it out. Motorboaters coming back the other way, finding that play on the triangle, player alone, and he gets the rebound, sweeps that towards the net, but another save from Trevor. About 4 minutes left now here in the third period. This is the time they got into trouble in that last game when they blew the lead. But look at this move by Rob, and then he pulls it to the backhand, goes around that player as well, and then sweeps it with a backhand shot. And if he'd got that off on the blocker side, I think that would have went in, but he was under duress, and they do keep it out. Motorboaters coming the other way, going around David, and he's forced to reach out with the arm and spin that player a little bit, and he's going to get caught by the referee for that. So with just a couple minutes left in this game, Motorboaters are on the power play. There's a chance in front, and the rebound is also there. They try to jam at that, but Trevor keeps it out, and that's really the only good chance that they were going to get. And this game is going to end up 4-1. Jackals hold on and avoid the late game collapse that they had last time they played this team. So let's have a look at the stats. Here you see the goals split evenly, 2 for Daryl, 2 for Jair, 2 assists for Troy, 2 assists for Lloyd, and an excellent outing for Trevor there in net, bouncing back with a nice high save percentage here in this game. So let's have a look at what that does to the overall stats now here with just a couple games left in this season. There you see Jair with those 2 goals launching into the lead for points on the season. Daryl also moving into a tie for Aaron for second in points on the season. So let's have a look at how the division schedule went last week. There you see the victory there by the Jackals at the bottom of the table. The Screaming Pylons, the new team that moved in, beat the Garbage Men. And then the Mighty Hellfish running away against the Royals there with a big score. So we'll have a look at the standings now, and they're kind of broken up into 2 piles. The top 3 teams have a excellent win percentage in the division. Of course, the Screaming Pylons have only played 1 game and had a victory, so they're 1,000 there. But it's still split up with 3 top teams and the 3 teams kind of a logjam at the bottom of the standings. And the Jackals currently tied for 4th place with the Royals. So let's have a look at the upcoming schedule for next week. You see the Jackals will be taking on the Garbage Men. That's a team. Those teams have had 3 games. This will be the 3rd game. The first 2 games, 1 win for each team. So that should be a good one. And it's a tight turnaround for the Jackals. That game is on Monday night. So that's just around the corner. We'll see you there for that one.